I'm Cynthia Renee, and this is Around Town and Behind the Scenes.
Baltimore Center Stage presents ArtsCentric's production of Cinderella, an enchanted, Afro-futuristic musical fairy tale. Join me as I talk with the incredibly talented costume designer, Larry Boggs, about his visions and creations for this treasured story. Larry's passion for design is quite evident throughout this great production. Let's find out how he brought it all to life. Let's go behind the scenes. Larry, welcome to Behind the Scenes.
Thank you, Cynthia.
I know you as a singer, a musician, actor, model. What else do you do?
Well, thankfully, my life has been blessed with opportunity. My resume is filled with so many different things. I bet people wouldn't believe it when they see it. But I'm thankful to have had all these different opportunities. It's led me through healthcare, sales, music, and now costume design.
And how does costume design make its way into your life?
Well, I think back as an early kid, you know how you save up your money and you try to buy your own clothes? So I had bought my first pair of Moschino jeans. They were like a dark blue wash or whatever. And they were those big wide legs because I grew up in the 90s, right? So I had my first pair that I bought with my own money. I put them in the laundry. My mom washes them and kind of ruins them with bleach. So there's a bunch of bleach stains all over these dark blue jeans. And you know when bleach stains blue, it turns kind of like a pinkish red. So what I had to do was figure out how to salvage these jeans. And I made handprints all over the jeans with bleach. And then it turned into my very first design. From there, like just being interested in fashion, my closet has been filled with so many interesting things. At my first year at Morgan, I had won the competition from MGM Designs, my first $1,000 win. And now, it was last year, September of 22, that Kevin McAllister reached out and said, could I do crowns? And that's how I ended up in costume design.
And so, of course, you got the call for Cinderella. Tell me your first thought.
It was quite exciting. I mean, it's a fairy tale. It was like a dream come true to me because in this sense, I get to create characters that are royalty, African royalty at that, because the lens that Kevin and Cedric are telling this through, it has an African lens. And so it makes me excited to be able to address, Black folks and royalty. We don't have to tell a story of African poorness or struggle. We can tell the story of triumph and royalty.
That's beautiful and so true, so true. When I was with you behind the scenes, getting that wonderful footage, as soon as I walked into the costume shop, Larry, I was really overtaken. Like I was overwhelmed with all the beautiful prints, the richness of the colors. Did you shop for much or did you find anything locally? What did you have to do to start your collection of these wardrobe items?
That's my favorite part, actually. The building of all of the stuff that you saw. Like, how does it all get into that workshop? Some of it you order, some of it you make, some of it you just think through. The way it gets started is though by the concept. So I reach out, or the director reaches out to me and tells me what we're doing. And basically Kevin said, I need an African Cinderella. And that was all of the parameters I got. So I said, well, what about the ball? What about the wedding? Like, you want more. And what I love is that he didn't put any parameters around what I wanted to design. It was just purely that. We're telling Cinderella and it's African, but then you can go out and do what you want. So that meant I had to do my research, like what kind of styles do African men and women wear? Because we're basing it solely on West Africa. So I did my research on Western African fashion, specifically in weddings and ceremonies. And then I started to shop around too. So I found this wonderful store in Northeast that sells wonderful African fabrics, dresses, beads, lace, all that kind of stuff. So some of the stuff is local, and then some of the stuff I've shipped in as far as Malawi, Africa. So the actual wedding dress is from Malawi.
It sounds like the cast is going to really represent royalty.
Mm-hmm.
I can't ask for anything better in a production.
Yeah, I think that's the approach I take with almost all my projects. I want to treat everybody I'm in contact with like royalty. So not just the audience who will come and see the show. Yes, they should feel like royalty, but everybody who's made this a success should feel like royalty.
And it sounds like
it makes me think of a team, what you just said.
Absolutely.
When I was there, of course, you were giving me this amazing tour. I saw the draper and other people sewing. Can you share the importance of that team to you as the costume designer?
So Baltimore Center Stage specifically has 3 wonderfully talented team members. So when I come in as a designer, basically all I have to do is think through the concept of the show, and then I can give the instructions to these wonderful people, and then they build what I've designed or what I've thought up. Some situations you come into a theater and there is no team at all, so the designer is also the crew, and that's fun too. So it just depends on where the show is being produced. It'll let you know like what type of team you have. Some theaters have 12 people on staff just waiting for the designer to create a show for them to build. So it all just depends.
And so it's wonderful that Center Stage offers a staff already there waiting for you to support you in whichever way this is needed.
Some of the best. I enjoy Baltimore Center Stage's team because the 3 people that are there, Fred, Keller, and Will, are just so super talented. It's almost like having 4 designers in a room. As a matter of fact, it's not almost like it is. They design in their own right as well. So when I come to the table as the leader, you're not dealing with people who can't add to the project. Like, I'm dealing with people that are fully competent and ready for whatever I dream of. So it's exciting.
Watching you really behind the scenes, you took me into the different rooms. I had no idea, first of all, that those different rooms were even in the theater. But it seems like each room was its own little world.
Mm-hmm.
How long does it take to get familiar when you need something for a show? Oh, it's here. How does that work?
That's part of the research process. So what happens is once you design your show, you have to figure out how you're going to fit all that into the budget. So for instance, if we're talking Cinderella, of course, the majority of the budget went to her dress. That magic dress has to be, magical. But in a sense, you don't want your budget to be thrown away on things like shoes or other doodads. So you get familiar with the shop upstairs so you can see where everything is. And that happens really quick because you don't want to waste money and you don't want to waste time. So I go upstairs in Baltimore Center Stage in those 6 rooms and figure out where everything is. So especially in Tech Week, it's going to start in 2 days. When we get into that theater, if there's anything missing, let's say I need a size 9 shoe, I need to know exactly where all the black size 9 shoes are, way 6 floors above where the stage is. But if we need it, I don't have time to go and be like, oh, I wonder where. No. So the first thing you do as you start working with a theater is figuring out where the stuff is. Where is what I need so that when I do need it, it doesn't take me forever.
Right. And so it sounds like, of course, the job of a costume designer isn't just to show up and say, hey, I want this to be done, but you have to do your research as well, too.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Not only is it research, but it's a lot of collaboration. So even though it is my design, I'm emailing and texting Kevin all the time, or I'm emailing and texting Shay, who is the choreographer, to say, I'm thinking about this shoe. Like, what do you think about the choreography? So it's a collaboration amongst many different people, scenic, lights, where it's not just one person gets to be a dictatorship over the whole show. We come up with our best designs and then we feed it to each other to say, can you work with what I'm doing? Yeah, and then it just fuses together.
And I can already imagine it's going to be an amazing show. So let me switch gears from Larry the costume designer to the person. Those of us who are artists, we usually give of our talent, our time to others. We usually help other people feel great. What is that one thing that you have that's your center that brings you joy?
Well, right now, what's bringing me joy is to focus on the company that I built, All Squared Away, which is a group of consultants that specialize in creating content, classes, services, and products to enrich people's lives and to increase happiness. So basically, my focus has been placed on that, making sure that the business grows, and it has. So I've been able to impact a lot of people's lives and make people happy, which is what brings me joy.
Wow, and tell me a little bit more of All Squared Away.
So All Squared Away is coming up on its 10-year anniversary. It's my baby. I've had this business for quite some time now, and we've just taken costume design under its wing. So we provide a bunch of services to seniors, to children, to community centers, and otherwise, just to, enrich lives and make people happy.
That's amazing. So is All Squared Away for a particular demographic?
Not necessarily. It's for anybody that wants to have fun or look good.
So that sounds like it may be everybody.
Pretty much.
Well, Larry, it was so good learning more about you. Thank you so much for sharing your art and your life with me here at Behind the Scenes.
Thanks for having me, Cynthia.
You can find Cinderella at Baltimore Center Stage. It runs until December 23rd.
Behind the Scenes is truly where the magic begins, experiencing the world of costume creations, visions, and more through the eyes of the costume designer, giving you an insider's view of the hard work that goes into creating these important elements of a show. Our creatives give their all in order to bring us joy through the art of production.